Welcome to Sage Sisters. We are sisters, besties, moms, and co-founders having a fun catch-up on parenting and life. Hello, hello. This is Anne.
And it's Kate. Hi, Anne. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
How's life?
Life is pretty good over here. We are just finishing up baseball season and we will have a little lull. So I'm pretty excited about that. The end of baseball season, because of all the rain out and reschedules, was a lot. I felt like I had run a marathon this weekend of kids sports.
So are you done now? This was the last weekend?
Finished with baseball. And
Great.
so we are baseball and football. So we're getting into swim, but we have a break. So
Well, good transition into my high because it was Cal's last Little League game on Saturday.
Oh, cute. Yeah.
It was almost a low. This season has been so cute that this is like one season that I'm sad is over.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe it's extra cute because Chris is helping coach and Cal's like real cute about it.
I saw a video you posted on our share drive where he hit the ball and ran to first and Chris gave him a little like hug, high five. It was real cute.
It was so
cute.
sweet. I know. So that's melting my heart. But my real high was on Saturday night. So we had the last game Saturday day. And then at Saturday night, we had the end of season party, which usually for a kid sports end of season, I'm like minimal as possible. Like grab pizza right after or like nobody wants that. But this is just a great group of families. And I'm genuinely enjoy the parent group. And so we decided to do
that doesn't always happen.
It doesn't always happen. Yeah. It doesn't always happen. So what we decided to do was rent out the picnic area at the local like community pool, which I actually hadn't been. It's a mile from my house, but I just like hadn't been there. It's the cutest place ever. I'm obsessed with it. It reminds me of our childhood. It reminds me of like a quaint Harkey pool.
I was going to say, Harkey is like, I go back to not like cute. I go back to like pee in the pool, dirty kids, like getting beat up outside the pool.
Maybe
like that's what vibes I have.
Rose-tinted glasses on Harkey. But what it reminds me of is like, it's not particularly fancy. You can get a cheap hot dog. You can burn your feet on the cement.
There's about like sandlot community pool?
You're right. It's got more sandlot. It's smaller than both of those.
Okay.
In a good way. Like in a, whole community's right around the pool. It's got some, nothing fancy bathrooms, which I love. They had a fenced-in grass area, and you can rent it out where they have a basketball court. The kids were playing wiffle ball. And maybe it was like first summer night.
Yes,
we had a little bit of magic in the air, I thought.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. That's a good high. There is nothing better than when you strike magic with the parents. The season was good and didn't feel long. And it's like a good, fun summer night. That's great. I love that for y'all.
And also just two other little notes because I want to like run this back / share the wealth. But we just went to Costco and got a bunch of pizzas. Did you know like an 18-inch pizza at Costco is $9.95?
I did. I'm obsessed with Costco. It's not my obsession. Actually, you know what? Maybe it will be my obsession today. I
just felt
Costco.
like, sometimes you go to these parties and it's expensive to throw. And we were like, let's just keep that food cheap. So we got a bunch of hot dogs and a bunch of cheese pizza.
Yeah.
And I got a bag of cuties. It was perfect.
Listen,
everybody brought their own drinks.
I used to make fun of my old roommates back in Santa Monica before marriage, which Holly and Brian, shout out to you. Love you both. They used to talk about Costco all the time, even before kids. They'd be like, oh yeah, we're going to go basically have a date night at Costco. They would like go to Costco and have pizza and hot dogs on a Friday. And
Chris has taken me to a Costco date.
They rave about it. And I didn't get it until now. And I'm like, I totally understand. It's cheap. The pizzas, if you get the whole pizza for a party, is huge. It's huge.
I know I over-ordered. Classic. Yeah. Indris move.
Better over order than not. I just love a good over order.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a great high.
It was great. Anyways. Oh, and then one more thing. Maybe I'm just rubbing it in your face, but there was this moment where all of us whose youngest kid was on the team, so like 6, Cal's almost 7. And then there was some moms who had one more kid who was like maybe 2, 3.
I see where this
and they couldn't be chill, especially with the pool around.
Yeah.
They had to lurk by the pool to watch their 2, 3-year-old, even though there was a lifeguard. They couldn't sit down. So there was this moment where maybe like 8 of us are sitting around and all the ones with the young ones are still running around with their heads cut off. And we did a little toast, little cheers.
Yeah.
That's how smart we all were.
I totally get it. Like I actually like couldn't be more obsessed with my third child, Lily. Like love all my kids, but she really kind of brings the family together.
I
Like it's
know.
really
She's
she's so
so
cute.
special.
So it means the world to me to have her in our life. But I totally get what you're saying with the third child, the people who had the third child or fourth child.
Yeah.
They were not relaxed. All of
Mm-mm.
my friends can go and sit at the pool. We have a neighborhood pool. And they all have fun. They're always like, let's go for enjoyment. Like they're always like,
Yeah.
this is a great idea. We're going to the pool. Who's in?
You're
And I'm
not
always
there yet.
like, oh, that's, it's like,
You're
gosh,
not
that's
there
just
yet.
not relaxing.
No, you're not there yet.
No.
Couple more years. Couple more. When your baby's 6
Mm-hmm.
and they're pool safe and it's a fenced in, safe place, man,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good life.
Well, I had a moment where this morning I went to the coffee shop by myself after I dropped the kids off at school.
Okay.
And this mom walked in with what had to be a 1 week, 2 week old. I mean, so little. And I had like, your face instantly is like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
so
yeah.
cute. And you just look at her and you say, so cute.
Your ovaries start. Pew,
Yeah.
pew.
But for the first time, my shoulders relaxed and I said, I don't have to have that little one in my care. Like
Mhm.
she's going home to put that little baby down who's going to sleep all day long, then she's going to be up all night or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it just was like the first moment where I was like, so cute, obsessed with that stage, also don't want to be in that stage.
Yeah. You're over it.
Yeah.
You know when you know.
Mm-hmm. So
all right. What was your high?
You got me, and I to her was like, oh, no, not for
Yeah.
me. My high was on Friday, we decided to pull the kids, the two older ones, a little early from school and go golfing with them at this little sweet family golf course up the street. It was so cute. And it was kind of a last minute, like Phil was like, let's do it. It would be really fun. And then we didn't have any calls that afternoon. So it kind of like the stars aligned last minute. So we didn't tell them.
And you had childcare for Lily.
Yes, we had childcare for Lily. So we picked them up, went to the golf course, and it was very like sweet day. I just like doing activities with the kids. So it was very fun.
I love that.
Yeah. Exactly. Now hit me. Why don't you ask me what my low is though?
Okay. Is it the same? Low?
Yeah. Also going golfing with the kids was the low. It was so funny. Like Phil and I, like overall, when we look back, it was a great memory. Kids had a good time. They loved being surprised. But also kids golfing, like Lola was like dragging her bag, laying on the ground after 5 seconds. Ace was so competitive, and obviously golf is a tough sport. He was getting so frustrated that it was even like, it was miserable to be with sometimes. It's like, who cares, buddy? Just go get the next one. Like, that's what this is about. You're going to have a lot of golf swings. Where it's a no driving, it's a 9-hole small course for kids. So you walk the whole time. And so I ended up having like 2 to 3 bags on me at each time going in between the holes. So it was really cute, but also there is a moment where you're like, this is also still not 100% fun yet.
Yeah.
I gotta be real.
Feel like you need the golf cart as the backup, you know?
Yeah.
It's like they're still at the age where they need a ride sometimes.
And
they can skip a hole and they can, drive a little bit and like have something else to kind of get them through.
This course is called Little Course in Franklin. It's so cute. And each hole is like 130 yards top. So it's pretty small. But you're right. Like it's golf carts, you couldn't do it on this course. It's too small. It'd be too in the way.
Yeah.
But like it was just a little bit much. And it was actually so close of a course that like some kids behind us, some teenagers didn't know proper etiquette, but they were like, we were leaving the green and they hit into us and they hit Ace's bag as he was carrying it. It was a little like, we kind of had like the puff up parent moment.
With a teenager.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much. I just looked at Phil. I was like, "Are you going to handle it, or am I?" I don't know.
Like get in there.
Yeah. Anyways, but it was cute, but also there were a lot of lows. So I feel like every parenting win, there's got to be some lows. So I had to like be real.
It's like the family vacation. Oh, we had a great time, and I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Also, this was tough. Anyways, what's your low?
Well, it was kind of another high-low where, and I'll get into this in the topics, but Friday was such a fun day. I had like an 80s tennis tournament with just some of the girls at the club that they set up. It was so silly. Everyone was dressed to the 9s or the 8s. No, never mind. That was
Didn't
terrible.
work. Didn't work.
Didn't work.
Nice try.
Yeah. Beep. Redo.
We're
Anyways, it
definitely
was such
keeping
a
that in, by the way.
joyful, funny day. And I was going to play the tennis tournament, go home and change. And then I had promised the kids I would take them to book fair. I had punted that as long as I could. And it was the last day. And I was like, ugh,
Yeah.
okay.
Get your wallet ready. Get a lot of cash in there because that book fair can get you.
Totally. But I was like, okay, last day of book fair, let me do this. So I run home to change because I'm wearing a leotard, bike shorts, side pony, like over the top, Jane Fonda energy.
Yeah.
And I come home to change and they're paving our neighborhood, which awesome. It looks wonderful now. But they were like, oh, come back in 20 minutes. And I'm like, I don't have 20 extra minutes.
Yeah. 20 minutes. Yeah.
So then I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go to the book fair in this 80s outfit.
No. What was your 80s outfit look like? Was it spandex with the leotard?
Oh, yeah.
Did
you
you have
know the leotard that I wore when I met Chris at the 80s cover band concert?
I mean, no, not off the top of my head. If I did, that'd be creepy, I think.
It was like one of those American Apparel ones where the thigh is cut like up past, belly button height. Yeah. I did, because I'm in my 40s, add a bike short underneath it.
Of course. Yeah. That'd be real tough.
The first time I didn't, that's when we met.
Okay. Yeah.
So that gives you a little glimpse into where the headspace.
Yeah. Well, you had to reel somebody in. You had to bait them in with that thigh.
It worked. But I had like Jane Fonda bike shorts. I had the American Apparel bright neon leotard.
I can envision this now. Okay. Good look, but just side not pony. For a book fair.
No, not for a book fair. Leg warmers, fingerless gloves. Anyways, so I'm oh shit, what do I do? Do I go to the book fair in this? And then I was like,
so you did.
You know what? I was literally like, I never would have, except I knew it was the last day of book fair. There was no other option, and I knew they would be devastated. So I had to be like, you know what? Okay, I don't care. I'm going to go. I probably won't see anybody I know. Like,
famous last words.
Totally. So I walk in. First of all, when Grace sees me, she almost died. That almost made it worth it in and of itself. She goes,
yeah, she was horrified.
I think she goes, aren't you embarrassed for yourself? So then I had to kind of prove to her. I was like, why would I be?
Yeah. You totally are, but you were like, yeah, no, totally. Have confidence.
Yeah, I was like, what's the big deal? What's the big deal?
And then you turn the corner to friends and you're like, oh no.
Well, I was like, I hopefully I just don't see anybody that I'm close with.
Yeah.
And so I sneak through. First of all, I'm on the PTA and the principal's right there and waves at me and like kind of laughs. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
And then we walk into the library and it was like one of my good friends' older sister who just died laughing. I'm like, okay, this isn't going to be as low key as I had hoped.
Well, this is a PSA for anybody procrastinating to do kid shit. Just get it over with so you don't get stuck in a pickle.
Stuck in a pickle.
That's good though. I mean, did you also have to get out of the car in front of like the workers and in this outfit, or you?
In the morning when I left, they were getting started.
Okay.
I couldn't have looked less serious. These guys are out there doing like good blue collar work. Yeah. They're, and I just come out looking like an ass clown in this outfit. Like, see you boys. I was like, I'm embarrassing.
What did Grace say again? You should be embarrassed.
Aren't you embarrassed for yourself?
Aren't you embarrassed for yourself? Yes, I am.
Well, once she said that, then I did, of course, go, no.
Yeah.
What's the problem? So then in the book fair, even she would like stand by me. It was so good.
That's
it was
good.
So good.
Well, that's a good low. I actually love moments like that. And, Grace may remember that. And I appreciate that too. You've embarrassed her.
She'll be speaking to her therapist about that later.
She's hard to embarrass too. We've talked about that. She's got a lot of confidence. She's not one to like be shy in that situation. I love
She's
that.
She's getting to this age though, where even like I had picked Cal up early. Well, he gets off at so early, 11:30, but we go through the lunch line to get him lunch and bring it home.
Yeah.
And she was in there with her class. And I was like, Grace. And I like went up and she like cowered. She was like, so we're reaching this age of like,
that's a toughie.
Uh-huh. I think she is like, she's independent and she's confident and she's good. And she still likes, she'll walk in with me, but she doesn't want to kiss me at school anymore. She
Your
was
low,
not happy when
yeah.
I went through the lunchroom and yelled at her.
Yeah.
And
Your
then
low,
because she was embarrassed as I was leaving, I go, "Bye, Grace," and she was like, "Oh
the
God."
worst. The worst. Well, your low has sparked 2 more lows for me.
Mm.
Just trying to get that out for a minute, but we we I didn't want to forget about them, so I kept
Sincere
trying to
apologies.
interrupt, and it wasn't
Okay.
hitting. I apologize for interrupting you. First, I gave Ace a kiss on the lips today because, like, it was kind of like a in the car goodbye. Usually we do cheek, but sometimes on the lips. Like Lily still gives me a kiss on the lips.
Yeah.
He was disgusted. He started to wipe his lips off and was like, "Ew," and I was like, kind of like internally, like, I
Like
kind of
her.
was like, "Oh, no big deal," but then inside I was like, I was really hurt. I was like, "Oh no, this just turned on me." Like I remember the
Well, is it
moment.
because you were in public? Like, will he kiss you on the lips
No,
at
we were in
home?
the car before. No one saw. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
just
that's
like a
hard.
moment. So on Monday, May 19th was the day Ace started to turn too
Oh,
cool for my kisses.
Ace.
I know, it was really tough. So that broke my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then your book fair sparked another one that I
Okay.
forgot could have been my low, which is we're getting dung for a missing library book.
Ooh, I saw that coming. Mm-hmm.
And I keep trying to find this book. And each day I didn't realize, apparently the last week of school, cutthroat, by the way, to the school. They're giving me like a $3 charge per day that I don't pay it. It was $14 to my memory on Friday. And I was like, we'll find it over the weekend. Today I got an updated email, $17 for this book. I was like, are you joking? It went
It's
up $3.
effective.
I was like, I'm going to pay it. Like, you didn't give a deadline. I thought I had till the end of school, which is Thursday.
Yeah.
So I'm still searching for this book, but I'm afraid if I don't turn it in by tomorrow, it's going to go up another $3 to 20 by who knows when.
It's tough affair. Tough affair.
I'm going to find this freaking book. Anyways. Rabbit boy, I will find you.
Speaking of like kissing boys on the lips, Cal's still at the age where he wants to like tongue kiss me. He's like wants to make out. He's like
he'd be
obsessed
horrified.
with me.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute though.
I think it's cute. Chris sometimes
That
is like,
soundbite's gonna be bad.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but like
Yeah. He
we'll have
still wants to
moments
kiss
where
you
I
on the
feel like
mouth.
but a lot. Like he's like
Yeah.
he's like into me. And like I'll look up and Chris is kind of looking at me like, it's too much. It's too much. I'm like, you leave me and my sweet boy alone.
Yeah, he's my baby boy. I know. The older I get with Ace, as a parent, the more I understand the parents I used to make fun of, and it's like, relax, golly, like you're like, the moms that are overprotective of their sons or like don't like the girlfriends as they get older. I used to be like, that's too much. Now I'm like, I get it. Oh, anyways.
Yeah.
All right. All good stuff. All good stuff.
All good things. All good things.
Well,
All
it's
right.
your topic this week. So what do you have for us today?
I was like putting together topics and I had like a lot of energy and ideas, but I didn't know if any of them were like enough to go the distance. So I decided to do kind of a smorgasbord episode.
Is that how you say that? Try that again.
Smorgasbord? Smorgasbord?
No.
What do you think
I thought
it
was
is?
smorgasbord.
Isn't that not what I said?
Smorgasbord? You added a T in there. Try it again.
Smorgasbord.
Okay, that's not how you said it, I don't think. Anyways, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but that didn't sound right. Okay, smorgasbord in
We're
quotation.
so Indiana. Every time there's a word that like is misspelled, first of all, I have no confidence I'm saying it right.
No, me
so
neither.
Many times, like how we grew up saying things is incorrect.
100%.
And like our family, I love it. They'll like double down. I came back, I'm like, oh guys, boutique is actually boutique. I learned something new as I've branched out in this world. And our family's like, they're wrong. It's boutique. I'm like, it's not boutique.
Remember when mom and dad went to a wedding just north of you and they kept calling it the wrong place? Do you remember?
Mendocino was like
every time. Mendocino.
I might
Mendocino.
Every time it was saying. Weirder and worse. It like got progressively worse.
We're going to a wedding in Mendocino. It's like, that's not right.
That ain't it. And then if you correct them, they're like, no, that's not wrong.
Yeah,
we
come
pillow last week, I think.
Well, I know I can't say that right. Well, it's like windowsill and pillow. I always get mixed up. It's like I don't say it right.
Okay. You can
anyways,
see my face.
Weird things.
Yeah. Anyways, little
kind
Indiana
of,
and some of it, but smorgasbord, maybe I shouldn't have gone there.
No, I liked it. Okay. So however you say it.
I wanted to do like a couple smaller topics, like just like top of mind. What's on the top of your mind here and now? Could bounce around.
Okay,
You
like
got any?
stories in the news or pop culture. Is that what we're talking about? Like
Yeah,
anything
just
that's on your mind?
anything
Okay.
on your mind. This will be and if it works, I could imagine this being a segment. So I just thought, let's try it. Let's do the top of mind May 2025. What's in that brain of yours? What's rattling around in there?
I love this topic because, well, in my mind, I'm going more pop culture right now. Maybe that's
Okay.
not it, but
Well,
I
let's run with it.
I
Let's see where it
love
goes.
pop culture. I told you all I
I know.
listen to is pop culture podcasts. I like reality
Now,
TV.
tell me what podcast you do, because I did listen to Giggly Swad on your
So
recommendation.
I'm liking Giggly Squad because they have banter that's funny,
Mhm.
and
I don't
sometimes
know the
they're
character backstories as much, and it's a lot of inside baseball I've learned. But I
I
think if I stick with it and I get the inside baseball, I'll maybe
yeah.
catch on, because I do think they're funny.
They're funny. Hannah is very funny. Paige also is funny, maybe a little less funny, but she's got good timing and whatnot too.
Yeah.
And they're a little self-deprecating. And
Hmm.
if you know them, I think that's funnier.
When you can tell they're really friends, which I do
Yeah.
like that energy.
Yeah. And they're not afraid to like kind of make
Say
fun of
something.
somebody or say
Totally.
something. Anyways,
Yeah,
I'm
they're not
liking that.
delicate. Hannah reminds me so much of my New York roommate.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
won't name drop here, but
Yeah. I can see that.
it's the cadence of the speaking, the type of humor. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was
Hmm.
like a throwback for me.
Yeah. I also think because I've watched Summer House for so long, which is the reality show they were on, now they're actually becoming known for something else outside of that and
Hmm.
bigger. And I kind of love that for people. You know, it's
When
like
it seemed like Hannah was like a comedian, right? Is she do stand up?
she wasn't. Now she is. She's
Okay.
always been funny. And I want to say her husband she met was a comedian or something. So anyway, she got into it after she left the show
I
and
mean,
it's
I
just
have
done really
respect for
well.
anyone that does stand up. That's so dang hard.
Totally. And like I just like when my reality stars become somebody. Like I'm going to really this is not a good one I'm proud of, but I used
Okay.
to also watch Love and Hip Hop and Cardi B came from Love and Hip Hop and I like love
How did
that
I not
Cardi
know
B.
that?
No, I don't know. I don't know. And I like was obsessed with her at the beginning because I was so proud of her for coming from such a
Well,
reality
it
show
almost is
person.
like the American Idol of it all. It's
It is.
like
Yeah.
you're rooting for them, and then, they become Kelly Clarkson big, and it's like you were part of it because you watched it.
You just gave me my first topic.
Oh, great. Okay,
You
spitball.
said American Idol.
Yeah.
And I went down a rabbit hole the other day watching Jessica Simpson return after 15 years away from the stage to
Okay.
perform on American Idol.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is
Why
going
am I
viral right
nervous?
now. No, no, that's
Was she
it. Like
good?
she was good.
Okay, good.
I mean,
I
she's
was
a
like a little nervous that she was going to be terrible.
no, no, no. She was like true to herself though. Like so she's a little bit like you either love her or hate her music wise. She's like a little screamy. She did the same move she used to. It was giving
Oh,
me all
okay.
the feels though, because I used to like her back in the day when she was
She's not
on
my
that
cup of tea, to be
Nick Loves
honest, but
Jessica, like
I like that
show.
show. That was actually one of the first reality shows I got into.
Yes. So like some of those clips are going viral now again
Okay.
because she's making a comeback.
Well, I
And
know the Chicken of the Sea has got to be going viral again. That was like such a highlight.
well, some of the ones that are going viral are like saying like, "Oh, Nick was actually like not a great husband to her." Like if you go back and do clips, but anyways, she kind of went through a rough patch. So she got remarried, had some kids. I think it's in her book, but she had like really dealt with alcoholism and things and she
Mm-hmm.
like gained a bunch of weight, she had a bunch of issues, and then she got sober and looks great again. She looks like the Jessica Simpson back then. So she's looking great on stage. She's got this whole like healthy vibe going. Unfortunately, she's getting a
I'm so
divorce or did
skeptical of anyone who gets skinny now. I'm like, yeah, right. It's Ozempic, but carry
I'm
on.
sure. But well, maybe she did
But
that
did she
for
get divorced
multiple
again?
reasons. Yeah, so that's the other thing too is like her big song going viral right now or that's like the big thing is like blame you or something like that
Mm.
because it's all about it's like juicy. It's like about like you cheated on me and
Ooh.
like
Okay.
so anyway, so I think she's maybe going through a hard time or did right before this drop. But I'm kind of like here for the comeback of Jessica Simpson.
Okay. I can get on board with her. I never disliked her. I don't like her music, but I thought she was a fun, likable character always.
I'm always here too for like you went through a rough patch. We're all a witness to it, and you're back. And you're
Yeah, public
back and
comeback is
looking
nice.
good.
Yeah.
It's nice. It gives good energy.
Well, and she was part of that era of female pop stars where I felt like society was just horrific. Like,
Oh, totally.
you know what I mean? Just like
Yeah.
we wanted to, not we, I want to put a big arms like between me and society on this one, but it's like, we took down Britney Spears. We took down,
Oh,
like, we were just
awful.
horrible to these young pop stars.
I mean, I still remember to this day the image, and I think I've even brought it up as a joke, so my bad, but like of Jessica Simpson in those high-waisted jeans, and she was probably like 115 pounds, and everyone's like, oof, wouldn't have done that, didn't look good. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, she's like, she went from 115 pounds to 120 pounds, and she looked, like it was this viral picture that was just awful
Yeah,
angle.
one bad angle.
Anyways, I am here for her comeback. I love it for her. I hope it does well.
Great.
That's it. That's my first topic.
Okay, I like it.
Okay.
Mine is a riff off of the 80s tennis party, and I won't talk about tennis, so take a deep breath. I love a costume party, and I love a day drinking costume party. Bring
Here,
them back.
here. Yeah.
And I think too, I'm not as good at drinking as I used to be, sadly.
Mhm.
But I like that it doesn't ruin the next day. It's like day drinking, it's joyful, it's fun, like especially I don't know, there's something joyful and silly about a costume version of this.
Here's where I differ.
Okay.
I'm not sure I'm into the costume part of this.
Oh, you're too cool? Okay.
No, I'm not too cool. I just like don't want to put in the effort to find the right costume. That doesn't seem good to me. Also, like I get the tennis one, so maybe that's fine. Like we've had a neighborhood beer Olympics, which has been fun, and we've done a theme, so I'm okay for that. So maybe in like one or two times.
Well, and it's more fun too if you're part of a team or a duo.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So
right.
it's like you and this other person have insane outfits.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think the people who won the costume contest on Friday went as like Fred Savage and the Hulk Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
So like, it's only funny if they're kind of not cute.
I just went down this like getting invited to a birthday party where there's like a theme. I hate that. Like, don't make me. Yes, like don't make me.
What was the
wear.
theme? Was it a mystery? Because I feel like the murder mystery thing is like a whole thing.
Yeah, I did go to one of those. Love my friend, but I just don't want to like dress up.
Okay.
That's just not what just don't make me do it. Any theme, it doesn't matter. Getting invited as an adult to a party where you have to wear a costume, no thanks.
Does your auction and things like that have themes? Like your school?
No, because our auction is like a silent auction online. It's my favorite thing about my school.
Oh, you're no fun. What happened to Anne who used to dress up and drink and
I didn't
wear
say
a costume?
I didn't want to go out. I just said don't make me wear a costume.
It's but people act more foolish. They do more shots. They drink more mimosas when they're wearing spandex.
Okay. I'm here for the day drinking though. I like that.
No, you're gonna like make it classy and bougie and like step up and like sip something.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I won't go that far. I just got stressed thinking about having to like wear an outfit to something.
That's part of the fun of it is like you got to prep, you got to have something silly.
Okay.
Well,
we can agree to disagree there, but I love that for you.
Okay, let's leave the costumes on the side. Can we at least agree on day drinking?
Yeah, totally. I'm here for that.
Okay, good.
I do agree. I don't like drinking too much and then like feeling awful the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I do like a day event because when the weather's good, people are vibing, you're outside, you're having fun, you're having some drinks. That's so fun. I love that.
I went with the vodka soda splash of pineapple, which I also think is like a good one if you got to go the distance.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, came back for swim team, like got my kids, came back for swim team. The tennis girls were still down there ripping karaoke at like 4 p.m.
Okay.
They were on another level. I had like, missed out on a precious 2 hours there that took it over the top, but went back. I was cracking up. It was hilarious. But I was just like, you know what? Good for these women in their 40s and 50s, like getting after it and having a really fun, big, joyful day. Like, unabashed joy. Here for it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Not enough of that.
You don't have to not be fun as you get older.
Yeah. We can still step it up.
Because of the Giggly Squad, I got Summer House on the mind. One of the things that Phil and I say all the time is a quote from there. When one of the guys on it, Kyle, is married to Amanda, this girl, and she has always been a little bit of a wet blanket compared to him, but he's like too much.
Mm-hmm.
In one particular moment, he was drunk and he said, Summer is fun. Amanda, not fun. And so, anyways, I always we always quote that in different ways. And
That's
it's like
good.
Phil, not fun. Like if he's not on the same page as me or whatever. Summer is fun. Phil, not fun.
Okay,
Anyways,
I
it's
like
a good
that.
one. Yeah, it's a
Okay,
good
I
pull.
feel like I can get that in for sure.
Yeah, you'll like it. Just
Okay.
see that clip if you don't watch the show.
All right. You have any other things?
I mentioned this last week,
Okay.
but I also have gone down a major rabbit hole of the Karen Reed case.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
So, for those of you who don't know, which you're living under a rock if you don't know, because it's everywhere. The
Well, I
trial is
haven't
going
really
on.
gotten into the trial. I'd love to learn more because I was actually almost about to chat GPT summary it the other day so that I could kind of be in a conversation about it.
Yeah, because a lot of people are talking about it.
Everybody's talking about it. And it's like, you even go to like Apple TV or Roku or something. It's like the front cover is like, watch the live YouTube of Karen Reed trial.
Yeah, I told you I'm listening to like a podcast called Karen, and it's going into the trial in detail. So I feel like I've gotten, I was power washing listening to that last week I'd said that.
If you're in the podcast of like analyzing it, you're neck deep.
I'm in it. I've never done this before for a case. Not once.
The last thing I feel like I got this, well, and I haven't gotten super into this, but did you do that serial podcast?
I actually never did, but I did. I kind of did what you said, which was ChatGPT didn't exist. I don't think when this was happening, but I got the summary of it so I could follow along. But I never got into it like that.
Well, I could actually use a refresh here. I think I know the very high level of like, is she in Boston or is this?
Yeah, it's in Canton, Massachusetts, outside of Boston.
How old is Karen? Do you know?
Ooh, I don't know exactly, but probably late 40s.
Okay.
She was a financial analyst professor. And she was dating John O'Keefe, who's the victim.
This is the Boston cop.
Boston cop, yes.
Okay.
And he was, been in the police force for 16 years. I think his sister passed away a couple years ago, so he took in her kids. So like he's, like a good guy in the community. Okay. People really liked him. But they did kind of have a toxic relationship. So more and more is coming out that like they were just fighting. There were like speculations of cheating rumors or jealousy. So maybe not cheating, but jealousy to the point of toxic behavior.
Okay.
And so I do not think their relationship was something that
not goals.
Not goals. But they also went out one night, and this night that he died, and they got super drunk. And so she and him, after they went to the bar with a couple of the Boston police officers and other people that they were friendly with, but not super close with, they went to an after party afterwards. And the whole thing is, did he go in the house or not? She did not go in. Her story is that they kind of had a fight. He got out to go into the house, and he was supposed to come back out and never did. So she got angry and left. He was found the next day in the snow, and there was speculation of, did she hit him?
Like right outside the party?
Pretty much outside the party, like just to the left of the house. And so everybody was speculating, did she hit him?
With her car?
With her car, and then maybe left him to die. And maybe she didn't even know she hit him and was too drunk.
Was drunk.
Right. So that was like kind of the whole thing. She's on trial for this murder.
Mm-hmm.
And even the next day, she had said, like, when they found the body, she was freaking out. And she was like, I hit him. And that's why everybody's bringing this back up. But like a lot of people are reading into that now, saying like, she was thinking, did I hit him? Could that have happened?
Okay.
And she left him all these messages throughout the night, like yelling at him, being very, like, very toxic, but like, you're a pervert, using these weird words.
Yelling at him after she supposedly hit him?
Exactly. Oh. Into the night. And she's weird. Like, I'm with these kids. Where are you? Like, anyways. So then the other side that's really getting people involved is that the police officers who were at, like, one of the owners of the house is a police officer. His wife and kids were there. And they had other police officers and other friends there.
Okay.
And everybody is now like, the defense is like going after this whole story of, did they cover it up? Because, there was like a little bit of drama between another guy who Karen was actually flirting with. Could they have gotten into a fight? Mm-hmm. Brian Higgins. He was also a police officer. There was some speculation that the son of the police officer who owns the house might have gotten into an altercation with him. He did have bite marks from a dog. They rehomed the dog thereafter. They also redid their floors in the basement, maybe speculating something could have happened in the basement, and then they put him outside. They also sold the home for $50,000 under market later on.
To do
And
a quick sale.
exactly. And both Brian Higgins, the officer, and Brian Albert, who owns the house, got rid of their phones, got new cards, did this weird SIM card, whatever. And they're saying, like, oh, it was just because, we're police officers. That's
Coincidence.
how you get rid of it. They had these like calls between each other, and they said there were butt dials that evening that this happened. There was another friend who is the sister-in-law of Brian Albert, who owns the house, who then Google searched the next day with Karen, how long to die in the cold. But then one of the Google searches got deleted that was the same search that could have happened at 2 a.m. instead of 6 a.m. when they found the body. So anyways, there's all this speculation and no one knows exactly what happened. But
Some
that's
juicy
why it's
details.
intriguing. And
Yeah.
like the whole like lead investigator botched the whole thing and didn't do it right.
And because they're police officers and they know about how investigations go, it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
that adds more suspicion, not less.
But then there's like this other side that's like that's a lot of people to do a cover up. It's hard to get two people to keep a story straight. So now you have a lot of people involved in that side of the story. But it's just like did they, even if they didn't, did she do
Now,
it
where are you at
accidentally?
right now? Are you changing every day? Are we on team Karen? Are we on team, what's the other guy, Brian?
I think that I'm kind of leaning towards she did not do it.
Mm.
And maybe somebody in the house did, but maybe not everybody knows about it. That's kind of what I'm thinking. However, I also go with maybe she accidentally hit him and didn't realize and left. So it wasn't like she actually premeditated it, but like it was an accident.
Okay.
So I go back and forth between those two theories, but it's just kind of interesting to learn about, and I don't know why I'm so
now
in it.
where are we at in it? Is it close to finishing?
I think they're still mid-trial. They're going through now each day. You're getting more and more information because people are on the witness stand saying different things.
All the witnesses at the party.
Yeah, and it's all, you're getting clips everywhere on social media. There was also this, apparently there's a guy named Turtle Boy who is, I know it sounds really strange, but he is somebody that's an influencer that's been tracking this story. And
Okay.
a lot of the things that he was putting out very early on into the case were helping the defense. And he's the one who came up with this whole cover-up story. So there's just a lot to it. So anyways,
Oh,
I
that
suggest
adds a layer.
going down it
That
because
adds a
there's a whole
layer.
layer. And
Turtle
yeah.
Boy. Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, there's a lot to it. I don't need to go more, even though I went super deep on that, I think.
Well, that was helpful for me. I don't
Okay.
know if anyone else needs to. That was a little bit more than a too long didn't read, but you saved me many hours of.
Sorry. That's where we're at. And because I still don't really know, that's why it's intriguing, I think.
Now I want to follow along.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. What else? What's a hot topic for you this week, pivoting from true crime?
It's not true crime, but it is a show.
Okay.
I ripped through 4 seasons in the last 3 days. Have you seen this? It's the Tina Fey, Steve Carell, Netflix 8-episode comedy dramedy.
Phil and it came up as number 1 on Netflix, so it wasn't by design, but we got into it.
Oh,
and
you have watched it?
Oh yeah, we crushed it in like.
Have you finished it?
Yeah, we finished it.
Great. Okay, good. Well, I didn't. How have we not talked about this? I've talked to you multiple times since here.
No, I don't know. I think we did. We kind of did it like a couple days in a row when it was rainy here and the kids went to sleep. And I don't know why I didn't bring it up, but it was enjoyable.
Okay, so you're positive on it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Are you positive on it?
Yeah, I finished it last night. I enjoyed it. Like I wanted to finish it. It was different. It was like there were definitely like funny, heartfelt, sweet moments. There were moments that had me crying with laughter. The last episode where there's a character playing a guitar, I won't spoil it, but I was in tears during that whole scene. I thought it was like so funny. So there were like laugh out loud moments in it. I will say there was something a bit depressing about it for me, which was just like the depiction of like marriage in your 50s was like pretty dark, actually.
I kind of agree with that. So I don't think we really discussed what it is if you haven't seen it, but basically it followed a group of friends who were all married and they would go on trips with each other, and it just followed each of their marriages, and like every quarter they would have a trip where they would come together and you would get an update, kind of that season, winter, spring, summer, fall.
Yeah.
of what had happened in those months that transpired since their last
It
trip.
was a lot of like marriage commentary, I would say, like, or
Yeah.
even just like what it's like to be in your 50s. And I think just to like set the stage, the whole season starts where the wife is planning a 25-year vow renewal, and the husband tells the friend he's going to divorce. The husband is Steve Carell. He's going to divorce her. And
That was,
so it
yeah.
was a lot of like, how do you transition through divorce? A lot of like, I don't know. So I guess a lot of the characters were flawed but likable, which I usually like that. But I think there was something just like underlyingly depressing about the state of all three marriages, actually.
Yeah, it didn't give you the warm and fuzzies when you just break it down from a relationship standpoint. It did kind of say like reality marriage can be hard, like, but truly if you love someone, you can make it work, I guess. But like, yeah, it was a little bit too dark in that way. I was like, this doesn't seem enjoyable
Yeah.
for these individuals. Like
Well,
there
and
was
like
too
I
much
read a lot
drama.
of fiction and romance, and there's one trope in a romance that drives me nuts where it's like they have a miscommunication. And had they been able to just have one good conversation, like a lot of the friction would have gone away.
But
And
in
I start
reality,
screaming, can you guys just have one conversation? I was kind of doing that with this show
yeah.
where it's like one of them would act bad on an assumption that was like unverified. And I'm like, can you two, after 25 years, not have a conversation about this?
It is a little bit of reality. Like it is not my reality, but I have witnessed people in life. There's a lot of people out there who are just bad communicators, and this happens a lot in marriage, and it's so frustrating. Even when you're close
You're
to
witness to it.
you're a witness to it. Like I do think there was a little bit of truth of how some marriages are, maybe more than we know. And it was a little bit like, I think too far to make the show, right? They needed a little extra drama.
Yeah,
But
they
I think
needed
that
fight. But I'm like,
I
why are
think
we
that
fighting so much? Can we not
yeah,
just say the thing? Can we not have
I
an
agree.
honest conversation and just solve this one? Because this one's not fight worthy.
I agree.
So, anyways, it made marriage look unappealing, I would say.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. But it was an enjoyable show to just watch, and I kind of liked that it was a quick 8 episodes and done,
Mm-hmm. And it was funny, sweet. There were a lot of sweet moments too that I liked.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I enjoyed it.
I liked it. Yeah. Okay.
Good one.
What else you got?
Something that has been bothering me.
Okay.
There's a lot of things, I'm sure, but
yeah, I'm like, couldn't even narrow it down.
I can't get enough of this. Instagram versus reality has always existed, right?
Yeah.
It's always been an ongoing, like, people taking pictures in front of a private jet and it's not their private jet, and they make it look like
trying
it
to
is.
have. Well, I was thinking more on the like aesthetic side, but
yeah. Oh, that's true too. More of an obvious one. Not many people are standing in front of a PJ. I should have started with like standing in front of their clean pantry, and they don't also like. Yeah,
they're not showing a mess around that.
Yeah, right, exactly. So the Instagram versus reality has always been a thing, and I kind of like don't mind it. But one that's been driving me bonkers lately is this day in the life that everybody's posting. Have you seen these where it's like, I wake up at 4 in the morning.
That's the one, like the morning routine.
The morning routine.
Yeah, I'm like, go F yourself. That's not your morning routine.
I love them. I hate them because I have watched a bunch of them. And there's one guy who I actually like, I see so many of these and I can't stand them.
Yeah.
One guy named, I think it's Zach Weber. He's a dad.
Okay.
He's a good looking Southern dad. Okay. Unrealistic. It's not true. It's total BS.
Were targeted. Weird.
I know. Total BS though.
Okay.
But I still can't unwatch his stuff. Because
what time is he waking up? This is what I want to know.
No, this is what he's waking up at like 5 a.m. with the mouth tape, and he's super fit. He's always
I do love the mouth tape. So
he's always like, I let my wife sleep, or I let her do the. He's always like,
he's the husband of the year. He's the Hody.
Yeah. Exactly. And then he's like, running 5 miles in the morning, comes back, made butter coffee. He's got breakfast for the kids. He goes, gets the kids.
I love when they run in the dark. That's my favorite.
Yeah, totally.
That has to be part of it. Is it a morning routine if you're not running in the dark?
Yeah. And he's always shirtless. And then he's like 1 mile, and then it's like 2 miles. And then he's like giggling at 5 miles. I'm like, yeah, right. Like this
I'm
is,
gonna crotch kick you.
but for anyway, so I totally think it's just stupid, but I
Yeah.
can't unwatch his. So I will watch his forever.
Okay.
I don't know why. For some reason he's got me addicted.
He's
But
hot, is what I'm hearing.
he's like kind of hot. I mean, he's hot, but he's not necessarily my style, but I still can't.
Okay.
Just trust me. Go watch him and you might go down the same rabbit hole.
Okay.
Anyways, everybody else. So Zach, keep doing what you're doing. I'm still going to make fun of it. Everybody else, hear me. Don't do it. I don't want to know when you wake up. I don't think you wake up at 5 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
I don't think, and if you do, you're tired AF at 2 p.m. and you're not like giggling, working out again for the third time at 2 p.m. You know, it's like these unrealistic, I don't know. It's insane.
There was one that kind of reminds me of this, which is, I am a call her daddy stan, but
Yeah.
Alex Cooper did a day in the life, and it was so dumb. It was like,
was it a parody or was it actually her
no,
dad?
it wasn't a parody, and it was
Okay.
like what it's like to be a business lady, which again, it's like anything that you know too much about. It's like, give me a fucking break. But she was like, no, I don't want them on the podcast. Oh, we got to have them. I'll go anywhere. No, they're boring. And then it was like, next thing, she's like closing, signing $1 million, $1 billion deal or whatever. Then she has like a super creative brainstorm. And I was like, and then she goes out to glamorous dinner with her husband. I was like, give me a fucking break. Yeah. This is not a day in the life of a normal day. You might have scheduled this day to look a specific way.
Yeah. This is not your everyday.
No. The whole thing, I was eye rolling, and I was like, do better, because you're supposed to like keep it real. And that was the most cheesy bullshit.
Yeah, that was so stupid. Well, and I always loved the if you want a day in the life, it's like I woke up, I looked like garbage. I tried everything I could to cover my bags. It took longer than I wanted to, so we were late getting out the door. I stubbed my toe. I cussed in front of my kids. It's just like, even the ones that are now like the realistic versions are annoying to me. I'm like, just drop this.
Drop it. Nobody wants
except
it.
Zach. Keep going, but everybody else drop it.
Well, I fear that I am becoming like the vegan who does CrossFit here, but I'm not on Instagram. Is this like you can't say anything about Instagram without me telling you I'm not on Instagram?
Yeah, I know. We talked about this already. I forgot. In your defense, though, I forgot that you weren't on Instagram.
Okay.
So you haven't talked about it enough for me to remember that you haven't come back.
Okay, good. But I will go online to the website and check them out. So I can still do a little recon, which I like from time to time. So I'm not totally out of it. Or if I'll go in to the website and like see what people sent me.
Yeah.
So keep sending me memes. I still can check them from time to time. But I will say I am loving getting those hours back.
I think that's great. And I'm also going to be maybe it's not reality. I don't think I have a problem. I don't think I'm on Instagram that much. I rarely go on Instagram. And
check your data. Have you ever done that?
I'm sure I have it. Yeah. I'm sure I could.
How much do you think you're on Instagram a day?
Well, here's the thing is I have to separate
for work.
There is times where I'm doing stuff for work that makes me be on Instagram during the day of work hours. And like I don't think I'm scrolling too much, except maybe at night a couple times or like whatever. But like I don't think I need to leave Instagram right now. I'm not so far in it that I feel like I'm watching it all the time. Okay. I will say that.
I am curious. Perhaps you're not. Like I will give you the benefit of the doubt that you're not. And I think for a while, for me, I said, oh, this isn't that much. And then I looked at the data and it was like a lot more than I thought.
I knew you were going to say something losery like that.
And I was like, yeah, I'm burning 90 minutes a day. Yeah. That I would like to have back. So anyways.
Okay.
Vegan CrossFitter over here. Sorry. But happy for you. We'll check out the hot 5 a.m. miler.
Yeah. And just tell me if I'm like crazy or not. Because again, I don't know what it is about his content that's fine, even though I think it's fake.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a feeling he's hot, but
all right, I'll move on. You got anything else?
No, that was kind of it. I didn't know how long they would take, so I only planned 2.
Yeah, I love that.
But I did have, we have been forgetting our new tech tip the last couple weeks.
Oh, yes, you're right.
So I did prepare a little bit of a longer tech tip.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's go for it.
Well, and this also was top of mind because on I don't know, sometime last week I was talking to a woman whose son had some bullying happening. And it's like so center of the fairway for what we talk about with sage parents. So anyways, I thought today's tech tip could be, how do you talk to your kid about bullying even before it's happened? Like, how do you prepare them? How do you let them know what it is? Like, how do we have this conversation? So we have a great YouTube video, how-to video on this. So if you prefer to watch that, great. That's from an expert, Dr. Rebecca, who we worked with for the guidebook.
Yeah, I'll link it in the notes for this episode.
Perfect. But I thought it was good just to like have a conversation with your kids and like be like, hey, do you know what bullying is? Do you know what it is? Because I think there are misconceptions about like what it is. So I thought the definition is, it's aggression that's purposeful, that is intended to cause harm, not accidental, but like on purpose harm. And there is an imbalance of power between the players. So this is not you and me getting into a fight, right? Like, this is not two friends of equal power dynamic having a disagreement. Okay. Bullying is harmful, on purpose, and there's a power dynamic. And I think that's kind of interesting to like think through that power thing. And like, I've seen this even just like with my kids and their friend dynamics. Sometimes those power dynamics can be nuanced, but it's like someone has more influence than someone else. And there's like a little bit of that. The next thing is like, is it bullying, like the gray area? Is it or isn't it? So here's some questions you can ask of like whether a situation is or is not bullying.
Yeah.
Did the recipient feel embarrassed, humiliated, or hurt? Is the content false, negative, harmful, or mean? And then what happened with the content? Was it sent, shared, posted, or just seen? If any of those questions are yes, it is bullying.
And you should have a conversation with your kids, you're saying, about what actually identifies as bullying.
Yeah. Like, okay. I think one is just like, do you know what bullying is? And like, can you ID it when you see it? And then, okay, let's say there is bullying. I think the obvious next question is like, okay, well then what? What do I do? I think the hardest thing is like, if your kid is getting bullied, what do you do? But also if your kid is bullying, we can talk about that. But first and foremost for parents, take a breath. Like, try not to be reactive. Because I think anything that happens in the heat of the moment is not going to be like the measured, thoughtful, good conclusion. So like, first, take a beat. Second, really encourage your kid to feel safe with you and speak up and continue to reinforce that you have their back. I know in my situation, my son was very nervous to say anything because he didn't want to get the other person in trouble. So there has to just be a reassurances around, you can talk to me and like, we'll come up with a plan together that we're both comfortable with. Like, I won't act unilaterally here. Like, we'll come up, we're a team, right? And I'm on your team. So you can tell me everything and then we'll decide together what the next step is. I think that's a good way to like get them to open up and like reduce the fear of like what you may or may not do. And then just use that language. You and I are a team and we'll figure out how to make the situation right. So I think like that's what you do if it's bullying. I think the other thing, like when you're training your kid on bullying, that's so important, is most bullying actually is stopped by a bystander. So it's really hard for the victim of a bullying situation to stand up and stop that. And in fact, like a lot of the people that are on the receiving end of that have personalities that make it even harder to stand up and say, hey, don't say that. Hey, that's not fair. Or, you know, even something, why are you obsessed with me? Like anything that would like stop that dynamic, the victim usually has a really hard time, at least at the beginning. Yeah. Saying something. So, but a bystander, and again, like if your kid is not involved as a victim or a bully, they probably still will be a bystander at some point, even in elementary school. So it's like, how do you talk to them about like IDing it? And then how do you talk to them about what they do? So tell your kid, even as a bystander, what it is, that bystanders usually are the ones that stop it, and really encourage them to speak up. And if they want to speak up originally by telling you, and then you guys come up with a plan to say something, but like really open up that line of communication where they can come to you, that you're a team, that you figure it out, that you'll find a way to make the situation right. Whether that's being vocal publicly, some kids can do that, some can't, whether that's figuring behind the scenes channels to address it and alert the powers that be,
Mhm.
whether that's parents, whether that's school administrators, like depending on what the situation is. But just really like, here's what bullying is. If you see it, I'd love for you to come talk to me so that we can fix this, because we really want to be people that help people.
Yeah, that's
And
good
I think
advice.
like that conversation is just like so important. And I think parents never think their kid is going to be part of it, but I think a lot of parents can believe that their kid's going to be the bystander. And maybe that's the
Yeah.
like segue in.
Yeah. I just think it's super important to talk to your kids about identifying it, because there's a lot of things that kids can be mean. We know that. But there
Yeah.
is a difference between what's really being bullying and what's just kids being mean, and trying to identify that is super important. So I like that
Well,
that
and I
part of it
think a
too.
lot about it, like in terms of the power imbalance. Like my daughter came home and somebody said something mean to her. And I
Mhm.
said, I'm so sorry that happened. And our last name is Dirksen, Doerksen.
You
It's
brought
terrible.
this up on the last pod. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
Mhm.
someone was like, oh, Dorksen, dork, you're such a dork.
Mhm.
And Grace came home and she's like, oh God, it was horrible. They were calling me dork all day. And I said, well, who was it? How'd it make you feel? Like, are you okay now? Do you want me to help, or how do you think we should handle this?
Yeah.
And again, I don't think there was the power imbalance
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in that particular situation. I honestly think it was like attempt at humor that fell flat,
Mhm.
which I think happens a lot in these situations.
Well,
But
and I
because there
just
wasn't the power imbalance in that situation,
yeah.
I really didn't think it was worth escalating or like addressing. And I really just kind of coached Grace on like, okay, if this happens again, what can we say? And again, I think she's the type of kid who could stand for herself. And that's not always the case.
Yeah, I think the last part you said, which is depends on your kid. But I do agree that lately parents are get too involved when it's a situation that is peer to peer, similar like this, to your point. And
Mm-hmm.
you need to coach your kids on how to handle it, because it's not just a one and done. That stuff is going to happen their whole life, even in adulthood. So they have to be able to handle it mentally too. So just
Mm-hmm.
teaching them how to cope with it, and then the steps to do. And I also think it's super important to just, talk to your kids about, even if and not bullying, right? Try not to use the words bullying unless it really is. But if a kid is hurting you verbally for some reason, usually that kid is hurting too. If it's not just a joke that went flat, if they're actually hurting. And so you kind of have to, I try to teach empathy in that moment too. That's like, yes, you were the one that didn't feel good in the moment. Please don't make anybody else, please take that on and know that you should not do that to somebody else, because that's how
Mm-hmm.
you felt in that moment. But also, the person who hurt you is probably hurting. And there may be things we don't know of why they are, and we don't need to know. But just think about it like that too. To have empathy, even in those moments, I think is kind of crucial.
I do think though, and I feel so strongly about this, like bullying is not something that kids should be left to deal with by themselves.
No. And correction, I was talking about not bullying. We
No, I
identified
know,
what
I
was,
know,
yeah,
I know.
right.
I just like when in doubt, lean in and trust them. And like this is something that kids need a lot of support and love
A
around. And
hundred
it's
percent.
really, really hard, even if it seems nuanced, even if it seems subtle. Um, I just think I've heard so many stories, so many like heartbreaking stories
Yeah.
of parents that go, "Well, I didn't think it was bullying. I didn't think there was a power imbalance. I, thought it was just kids being kids."
Mm-hmm.
And then the kid side of it is like they really felt on an island. They really got into a bad headspace. It's like,
Yeah.
like I
But
just have.
also, I want to be clear, in having those conversations about the empathy or like hurting is to help them figure out how to deal and cope with it, so they understand that you're on their side. You're supporting them the whole time. You're
100%.
not letting them on the island. But I think there's two different conversations here. Like if it's not bullying or if it is,
Yeah.
like that, I think that's a huge difference of what comes next.
Yeah.
But in both situations, you're believing your child no matter what, and you're having a conversation to be there for them.
And this could maybe be a topic for another day, but I also think there's probably a whole version of this that's like, what if you're left out? Right.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
what if it's like kind of rubbed in your face that you're left out? And then
Yeah.
what if, there's, and this
Mhm.
has come up a bunch for us. So maybe it would be kind of a topic we
Yeah,
can talk
let's
about
let's
another
put that
day.
into
But
another topic.
all
Yep,
right,
I agree.
cool.
It's a good
But
one.
if you haven't yet, at any age, you can talk to your kid about this. Like there's an age appropriate version of this at 5, and there's an age appropriate version of it at, middle school. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Mhm.
all right, cool. Let's do obsessions. What do you got?
My obsession this week is a long time ago when I was saying I was trying to find my hobby. I had kind of told you I was interested in gardening, of which you poo-pooed, but I went forward. I bought a planter on or I don't a box, a raised box, but
Yeah,
like
planter
one that
box.
planter box, but not a raised box that's in the ground outside. I want to be clear. This one
Okay.
is going to be on my back porch, and I just got it from
It's a
Amazon.
pot, kind of.
Yeah, but like a
A
box,
wood box.
a wood box
Okay. Planter box.
on legs. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
You're envisioning this now.
Yeah.
It's pretty small. It's going to go on my back porch where it's enclosed, but it's right in the sun.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to attempt to grow strawberries in it. And
Cute.
I think it's going to be a fun little project for me and the kids. But I really like this planter box. It was easy to put together. I got it on Amazon for $75.
Great.
And so my total investment for that plus the plants is going to be under $100. So if this doesn't go well for me, it's not a huge investment. I can try other things in this planter box. I can
You
even
could
move
put
this planter
flowers
box
in it
outside.
if it
Yeah,
doesn't end up being a garden.
totally. But I'm super excited about it. The kids are excited about it. It came with little tools for the kids to use too, to like help plant and like check on it. So it's my obsession.
Why strawberries? I probably would have done herbs or something. You just
we could, but actually I was just talking a lot with herbs and stuff I've tried before. I might do a couple herbs in it too. But our family loves strawberries and blueberries. So blueberries tend to grow a little bit bigger, but there is a particular blueberry plant that I might try in it too.
Okay.
So I would do like
How
two
big is this
strawberries.
box? What are we talking about?
I don't know. It's like 3 feet by a foot or something, but it's enough to put 1 or 2 strawberries and maybe this small blueberry bush, of which I've researched a lot about.
Well, I like
it
that
may
you're
or may not get enough
expensive
sun.
fruit. I was going to say.
Yes, and we eat it. It's expensive fruit. If it doesn't work, I'm probably going to scratch and do herbs or something.
Okay.
But the only thing I can see is maybe not getting enough sun, but I do think this spot gets it.
Okay, good. Well, I am excited for you. And just to be clear, I didn't poo-poo gardening. I poo-poo gardening as your only hobby.
Yeah, I mean, in your defense, it was coming from a loving place because you wanted me to do something that
Fun.
wasn't like, yeah, exactly.
Or putting food on the table for your family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
I'm not
okay,
like what's the girl's name? Now I'm gonna botch it. Ballerina Farms or whatever. Have you seen that girl?
Oh
Yeah.
boy, that's a topic for another day.
Okay, I'll move on. I digress.
Okay.
What's your obsession?
Well, I'm not a big fan of Amazon cheapy clothes or in general, fast fashion that's not well made. Last 2 seasons are not even landfill. But I had a purchase 2 years ago that was a little, or maybe it was last year, like a set. And it was a crinkle button down with a matching set of drawstring shorts for the summer.
Okay. Like, is this over a bathing suit or?
Okay. Too long didn't read is I'm wearing the white version of it that I just bought.
Oh.
So it's this. I had it in bright green. Remember that?
Yes, I do. I do. Yes.
Okay. Why I love it is this crinkle fabric is a real treat. I find it flattering. I find, it's like supposed to be wrinkly. So then I'm never having to iron.
Yeah.
It's forgiving. It's flowy. It's just, I had it in green and I didn't always like to wear the set together, but I found myself wearing the pieces separately a lot. And I was like, wow, like this wasn't very expensive. I wear it all the time because it was just so easy to throw on for anything. So anyways, I decided to get it in white. So now I have this
really
shirt,
cute.
Little white shorts. I don't plan to wear the set too much together, but I thought this would be cute with just jean shorts and flip-flops or.
Why not the set? I'm into sets. Is that just not your vibe? I love a good set.
It depends. Why don't I love the set always together? Sometimes I feel like it looks like a little too cheesy or something.
Okay.
Now there's certain athleisure sets I feel different about, but like
this one in particular,
something. Sometimes I see a set and I go, that one's a good one. So you kind of know it when you see it.
Yeah.
And maybe the white and white I won't feel that way about, but the green and green, it's like really bright and something about the set doesn't quite work for me with that one.
I think it could also be like a swimsuit cover too. Maybe the set's better in that situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just feel like it's an easy summer toss on that never wrinkles. It packs great. It's comfy. It's light. If it's hot out, but I don't want to wear a tank top. Yeah. I kind of like that vibe.
I just have to say one last thing. I'm
Okay.
starting to not know whether or not I look old and like I'm trying, or whether or not I look
Did
cool.
the set bring that up? Because
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I was just thinking like I really like a set, and then I thought, no, I know what you're saying though, because sometimes it does look cheesy on people, and I don't know what the difference is because some of them are just like they look cool and they look chic, and others
Yeah.
I'm like, oof, wouldn't have done it. And I'm having a hard time being my own radar for that because I
Okay.
always think I look cute, and then I get a photo back, and you're like, oof, I looked like a mom, you know, like
I don't know if this helps, but like I saw a set that had flowy pants and like a cropped tank, same material, same color. Loved that.
yeah, okay,
That silhouette worked for me.
mm-hmm.
Button down with a matching short.
I think the drawstrings where you're losing me a
I
little bit. I know
think
the green set's
yeah,
cute,
I
but I think
actually
the
think
drawstring makes
a
me think
visible
loser.
visible drawstring is something
Yeah.
about that no good.
I've been on a real loser kick. I shouldn't be, but Phil said something to me earlier, and then I made the same joke to you, which is like, what a loser statement. I just said
Well,
loser again for the second time in the pod.
I
But
don't think we have an imbalance of power, so I don't feel bullied.
okay, good.
And if you can't call your sister a loser, who can you call a loser?
Totally. And I didn't call you loser. I said your statement was a loser or something.
I think you did call me a loser. We'll rewind the tapes, but I let it deflect off of my crinkled shirt and not worried about it. Unbothered.
Anyways, I'm also calling myself out because I feel like a loser because I can't decide whether I'm cool or not anymore.
Yeah, you're projecting.
Okay. Last thing. I should have been my obsession. I totally forgot and I just looked down. Do you see this bracelet for anybody watching?
Yeah, cute.
It's a little cute teal with some colors, string bracelet. I don't know how else to say it. Real casual.
It's almost a puka shell.
It's almost a puka shell, but I was going to say that, but it's cuter than that. I think you were. Anyways. We were out in downtown Franklin this weekend taking a little walk with the kids, and we were just window shopping. And there was this little shop, and Lola and Lily loved this little bracelet. And so the three of us got a matching bracelet, and Ace and Phil got a matching bracelet. It's the same look, but different color.
Okay.
And so we have like matching family bracelets, and I think it's really cute.
I do too. I'm into that.
Okay.
Well, I also like the look of like, you know, an Apple Watch or a watch, and then you layer a more colorful.
Yes, love it.
Like a stack almost. Doesn't need to be an Apple Watch. Sorry, maybe that was gross. But just a stack of bracelets.
A lot of people have Apple Watches.
Okay. A stack of bracelets with a pop of color for spring. I feel like it like feels fresh.
I'm into the stack. I love an earring stack too.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Or even like a colorful necklace. I think I'm almost, you know, this was actually probably cool a year or two ago, but when the statement necklaces were coming back, but like I'm more comfortable now wearing a little something.
A couple different. My only issue with the necklaces is I haven't found two that don't wrap around each other after a while. And so I'm kind of obsessed with wearing necklaces every day. And I was wearing 2 or 3 and 2 of them kept wrapping.
I'm talking about more of a beaded, like a statement necklace. Like there's a brand, Lizzie Fortunato.
Okay.
I love all their stuff, and it's kind of expensive, but like the look of it, where it's like kind of like a colorful. It's multiple. No, it's like, or it's like you could either do one with a statement.
Okay.
My friend just got a charm necklace that I was like really obsessed with. It looks great. But again, more of a bold necklace or a layered necklace, more in the colored bead family.
I just need more clarification. Are you saying it's a one necklace layer, or you are layering multiple necklaces?
Both can work. But my point is a statement necklace.
Okay.
With some color. I'm not talking about like I wear this like dainty little gold necklace all the time, which is great. I'm not talking about a dainty gold stack, which I think had its moment.
Got it.
I'm talking about a chunky stack.
I see what you're saying. A little more bold.
Bold.
Okay.
Colors, beads. Check out Lizzie Fortunato for the vibe.
Okay. I need to get a vibe because I'm worried about the crinkle set with a bold necklace.
You're right. I've gone full like Eileen Fisher. Thank you for that calibration. I'll be careful about wearing them together. It's old lady on the beach. I need to get wind chimes. Oh my God, it is such a...
You really do have to be careful at our age. You really do.
I'm about to get kooky glasses and wind chime.
Colored glasses. And then the body oil. You're going to wear body oil as your perfume.
Essential. It's going to be essential.
Essential oils. And natural deodorant that doesn't work. Okay.
Oh, never on that. Never.
Too far.
Never. Too
Too
far.
far. Okay.
Oh my God.
Somebody had to go too
walked
far.
accidentally right into that.
Are you wearing it with your OOFA shoes too?
I just bought new OOFAs in a different colorway. A light. They're worse. They're light blue and they're worse than the black. But I'm going to keep them because they're so comfortable.
Oh, I'm crying. I'm going to get our radar back on track.
Oh my God. Speaking of interventions, I'll get you at the set. You help me not become like a Cookie Beach lady. Oh my God. Okay, I need to regroup.
I'm ugly crying right now. My veins are coming out.
No one take advice from us. This is the bottom line of this. We can't be trusted. I'm going to find a picture of exactly the lady I'm slowly transitioning into.
I think that trend, you got to be careful with these trends. Okay, we better wrap it up before my vein pops out of my head.
Yes, I love when your vein pops out. All right. All right, Lilas.
Lilas.